So this is one of the things that I wanted to make sure that I cover and we talk about. Think about how your hands work. I've told you before that when your hands are up like this, that yes, you can protect yourself, and it creates this energy that's coming in against you. You can repel it, okay, for a certain amount of time until they change what they're doing, right? But for an instant, you kind of stop that influx of the energy that's coming in. If you want to throw them to the ground, your hands are going to end up turning as you throw them to the ground. I mean, what do we do when we go to putting them in a lock? Our hands change position, okay? We go from the backs of our hands to the front of our hands because now we're using our muscle and our force, okay? And we're increasing their force, and we're going with it, and we're connecting with it, and we're sending it in the direction we want it to go, all right? So there's going to be a point in time when your hands turn. Well, the same thing applies if you reach up and you grab somebody by their head. You know, don't grab them by the head with your arms backwards so that you have the backs of your hands here, because you don't have power throwing somebody to the ground like this. Where you have power is if you think about holding a basketball and your hands rotate over this way, okay? I know we talked about the elbows being not up in the air, but we're changing what we're doing. We're not defending at this point. We are actually putting the person on the ground, and we are trying to take the energy that's here and we're trying to shift it over to the other side. That means this elbow is going to have to go up as this elbow drops down. But just as I showed you in another video, if somebody's coming in and they're pressing in against me and I go to move them, I can use one elbow up, one elbow down to help guide and direct. But it's because I have this ability to have this force held in my palms, and I'm rotating it around to the ground. I'm rotating it around to the ground. Okay? So try not to overthink it. Just look at it, what you're doing, and that's why I said use this bandana. You know, we're dealing with the social distancing, and because of this virus and this, you know, it's a serious thing, and I'm not going to take it lightly. I'm not going to. I can't speak for other people. I'm not going to take it lightly. I take it very seriously. All right. So trying to teach a contact training where we make contact with each other's hands and arms, and we're sweating, and then we touch each other's faces and we grab each other's heads. We don't need to jeopardize our lives. We don't need to jeopardize somebody else's life by having that physical contact and still learn. That's why I'm making these videos, okay? So the idea behind it is that you're using the bandana to help train you to keep your hands in close so that you don't start practicing with your hands out here and creating bad habits. Or you leave one hand down and you're like, and they come in and I go like that, and this hand just hangs around and doesn't do anything, okay? When you connect them together, you put yourself in the, well, I have to do something with this hand because this hand's moving and that hand should go with it. And that teaches me to get my body moving, okay? If I change from I'm using an open bandana to using a circular bandana, all the same things apply. I'm here, somebody grabs a hold of my wrist, both hands come up. I pivot and I turn and I leave, okay? Somebody grabs me in a cross grab, my hand comes up, I show it to them, I bring them out, but you know, now because my hands are close together, it might not be so realistic because I can't really stretch that arm out like I want to and then shove them away. But what's it doing? It's bringing that other hand along, isn't it? Okay? It's not just leaving it down here and go, you know, ha, I turn their body away and this hand's sleeping. Okay? It better be following this other hand because that's going to give this hand more energy because my energy is here in my center. So as I go here and then I put my hand and open them up as I stretch that person out and I shove them away from me. Which way are my arms pointing? Where is my energy going? My energy has to push out away. Just like if you were to go, I'm going to do a push-up and you go to the ground, you can't turn your hands this way and do a push-up. It's not going to work. Your muscles don't work that way. Your muscles work this way when you push something away. But bringing your hands up like this and someone else's force coming in against you and you just holding your hands there and keeping your elbows down, amazingly enough, that's a whole different kind of force. So that's why our hands are up, okay? So whatever it is that you're doing, even if you're doing feeding the hand, you can stand there and go, my hands are up, I reach over, I grab a hold of his wrist, I rotate it. See, I can do this with the circle. Nice and easy. Turn the person and drop them on the ground. I don't have to open my hands up that much, okay? This works great if you're really trying to practice getting your hands up in front of your face. As I step and turn, there's always a hand in front of my head and between my opponent, and there's one to the side that they're attacking from. You don't want to get where you start splitting and go, well, there's a hand over here, and then this hand's down, and you're going to get hit, or their body's going to come in, or they're going to headbutt you, okay? You got to protect your head. You're here, and you're keeping your hands in front of your body as you're doing this, all right? This is just helping you understand where your energies are and how to really protect your body as somebody's coming in, okay? So, I know I'm not giving you, set drills, and there's a reason for that. You need to develop your own muscle memory in what you're doing, but you're smart enough to just think this through and go, okay, somebody's coming at me, I'm just going to go up here in the interview stance. They get too close, I'm like, hey, why me? Why are you messing with me? If they grab a hold of you, and you're like, I don't want you grabbing a hold of me, and you go to put them on the ground, whichever side, doesn't make a difference, okay? If you find yourself in the situation where I'll be showing you in other videos some additional things like front choke holds and things like that, where you're using, your arm and you're coming up over and you're driving the elbow down into a person's arm to drag them down because you have more energy and more power using your elbows, or splitting their arms as they're doing chokes and your arm comes up in between you and you're driving them down. You grab their head. This is helping you learn how I twist their head down into the ground. So I'm not doing things like this when I grab, okay? Don't grab like this. Don't grab like this. You're weak when you grab like that, okay? You're strong when you grab here and you keep it centered on your body, okay? If I reach out and I grab a hold of you and I pull you in towards me, I better have a place to go with you. I can't just bring you into me to where you're just going to run into me. I need to be getting out of the way and send you on your way. If I'm stopping something coming in, I'm going to stop it, but then I'm going to leave, or I'm going to split it and redirect it and pass it, or send it along its way, and I'm going to move around and past it so that I'm not in the way of all of that energy that's coming in. Okay? So you can use your bandana in a circle to practice some of the stuff. Think about your straight wrist grab. Even this one, Pledge of Allegiance, in a circle. Somebody does a straight wrist grab, they grab a hold of my wrist. I simply come here. This hand's already close. Now I can come up, I can grab the elbow and wrap around. I've got a hold of them, and I bring them over and I dump them as I leave, okay? So same thing from this side. They come in on this side just because they pledge allegiance and we go, oh, well, our heart's on this side. No, it doesn't make a difference. They grab me on this side, I simply step here, come underneath the elbow, wrap that arm, and dump them over. So practice these little movements, okay? When we're talking about the bird, you got your hands together, right? So somebody grabs a hold of you and you go, oh, look, did you see it? It went that way. You could follow with the other hand. It's not hurting anything. Oh, up there, over there. I never said that you couldn't take one hand and go, look that way, and oh, there's a bird, and as you draw their hand up in the air, this hand comes up, grabs a hold of their head, and then you take them and you throw them to the ground. But where's my hand going? It's going back to this other hand. They're going to stay together because that's how my body works. And your body, another person's body, you're not gonna split them in two. Okay? Why would you break your hands and run out two different directions? Keep your hands together and send all of their energy in whatever direction they're already moving or they're going, or that you're sending them. So practice this in here. Practice, think about holding the ball and turning the ball and throwing them. Okay? These are the soft applications that you're trying to apply to someone who's being strong, hard, and aggressive against you. Okay? Somebody gets a hold of you and you don't want to be held on, just start shaking. Just stay relaxed and just start shaking. And watch and see how hard it is for them to hold on to you. You can stand there and just kind of shake as you move and go, no, I don't want to be held. Okay? And so it's more of a passive resistance type of defense than it is a hard aggressive. One could make the argument of saying, well, but you need to be hard and aggressive, and you need to take them out, and you need to do this, you need to do that. I don't know, do you? Because one thing's for sure, if you're hard against hard and you're not as strong as that other person's going to beat you. Simply because their hard is harder than your hard. Okay? And so if you think you're going to stand there and you're going to go, well, he's coming at me hard, and I'm going to come in here and I'm going to block him with a forearm, and that guy stands there and he's been blocking sticks and trees and hitting stuff with his arms, because that's how martial artists train, is to toughen themselves up and to understand how to use their bones, rotate them, strike really hard with their bones, and all those little tiny fractures over and over and over and over again through the years of all their training, they get the bone density to be extremely strong. So now you take your arm and you go up against them, and it's going to feel like you hit a lead pipe. And you're not going to win that battle because your brain's going to go, ow, holy crap, that person's arm is hard. Okay? Instead, be soft. I mean, who wants to hit a lead pipe? I don't want to get hit with a lead pipe. You know? I don't want, to be hit with something hard. I'm going to accept it soft and move it away soft. Because if I get hard and I try to go hard against hard, somebody's going to be harder than the other person. And if you don't train on a regular basis to build up the bone density so that you can handle that impact, then you're not prepared, okay, for that type of fight. So don't train for that when you can just as easily go, I don't need to train to stand there and punch a bull and try to stop all that energy. Nobody does, okay? Get out of the way. Let it go by. Don't let it hit you hard. Don't let it hit you solid on. Whatever's coming in, if you have to turn and send it away from you, turn and send it away. If it's coming in at you and your only place to go is, well, I can't go behind me because there's a wall behind me. Go towards them, but turn them and send them into the wall. Let the wall do the damage with all their own energy. Okay? But learn to move your body. Get it out of the way. Get out of your own way. Is he going that way? Is it going that way? Is it up here? Is it over there? Am I going to do a Pledge of Allegiance type move? Okay, from one side to the other. You can do a Pledge of Allegiance move. Hold the hand in the same place. Step out this way. You're still bending that arm in a position that it doesn't go. Once a person's arm gets to here and you're bending it that way, their body doesn't go that way. They're going to drop and fall. You don't necessarily have to bring them up here and drop them back behind you. So I'm not putting limitations on what you can do. I'm simply showing you some basics. But start looking at, okay, I need to know where my energy is and how I'm going to use my energy, and just keep it relaxed. Keep it, keep it simple. Don't make it harder than what it is.